guys, and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Jessica. I'm a mum of one to a little boy called George who is 2 years old, and I post motherhood, cleaning content, lifestyle content, and I would love it if you enjoy these kind of videos. Then please consider subscribing to my channel because I would love to have you as a viewer. And if you like this video or you can relate to this video, then please give this video a big thumbs up, and please leave me a comment down below just to say hi. I love chatting with you guys, and also just share your experiences of this subject as well. So as you can probably tell from the title of today's video, this video is something very different to what I normally post. Now, I don't normally like sharing my feelings with people or really talking about how I actually feel. Obviously I mention it to my family and my closest friends, but it's not something that I just like to publicly talk about. Now, I'm making this sound really way more dramatic than it is, but I feel like I have to say something or I want to talk about it, and what better place than being able to talk about it than on YouTube. So I thought I would share it with you guys. I know I have a lot of other mums on here that might be going through something really similar, so I thought I would share my experiences of this. So as you can tell from the title of today's video, I'm going to be talking about the power of mum guilt. Now, this is something that I'm currently going through with my little boy George, for various different reasons. I've actually sort of been having this feeling ever since he was born. So for those of you who don't know, George was born prematurely. He was born just near enough sort of 7-8 weeks premature, and I blamed myself quite a lot for that. I don't know why, but because obviously it was my body and no one else was sort of involved in the pregnancy, I blamed myself a lot for it. Luckily, he was born quite a healthy baby. He spent a little bit of time in intensive care in the special care baby unit, but all he needed was established feeding and just to get his temperature up, etc. But I blamed myself a lot for him having to go through all of that, and that sort of crept into when I brought him back home, and throughout the first year, the second year, you know, I've always had that feeling in me. Now, I knew that he was a little bit developmentally behind compared to other children, probably when he was around maybe about 14 months. So everything before then, he seemed like he was doing the things at the right stage at the right time. Physically, he is way ahead. Like, he is on ball with being physical. He can run, he can jump, he can do all of these things, but his mental development, if that's what it's called, he is quite behind what he should be for his age, and I still blame that on me because of how early he was, and perhaps that is a reason. So like I said, I noticed it when he was probably around 14 months. He had already started walking by then, so like I said, physically he was absolutely ahead of what he should be, but he wasn't waving, which a lot of kids do. He wasn't pointing, he didn't say any words whatsoever. And I just sort of kept saying, oh, it's because he's premature, he'll catch up when he's ready. And time went on, sort of 18 months, still no words, still not doing any of those things. Then it got to 2 years, and that's when I sort of started to worry. So at 2 years, he still wasn't talking, he still isn't waving, he isn't pointing, he isn't doing these things that they really should be doing by now. And I know we shouldn't do this, but as mums, we just compare ourselves to so many other mums, and you compare your children. This is awful, but we do. We compare our children to other children's development and how other kids are doing, and that makes me feel so much worse about myself and the job that I'm doing to raise my child. So what we've done this year, when he turned 2 and he still hasn't said any words, he's still not doing any of those things, I decided to call the health visitor, and we just had a little bit of a chat about my concerns and my worries. And I remember her saying to me, because of the coronavirus, they weren't going to be doing any kind of 2-year reviews unless we had specific concerns, which I'm so glad I called, because obviously I did. So they scheduled us in, I think it was like 2.5 years old, so when it got to maybe about August, September time, that's when the health visitor called me. They sent some assessment forms through the post, and on these assessment forms you have loads of different tasks for like cognitive, for development, for physical development, etc. So many activities for you to do with your child, and then you sort of rate how well they can do those things or how often they do those things. And for obviously all the physical ones, he was way ahead, he was where he should be. But for all the cognitive, developmental ones, he was very, very behind, and he scored very low on the application form. So that is when the health visitor decided that he needed some kind of further investigation. So they then have what they call sort of like round 2 of the investigation, and that's when another form came through the post, with much more intricate questions and activities. And again, he scored very low on that one too. So they were quite concerned about him. They managed to get us, I think it's what they call like a panelist appointment. So obviously at the moment with what's going on in the world, obviously hospitals aren't taking on many referrals, speech and language therapists aren't taking on referrals. I think the lady said it could be up to like a 3-year wait for a speech and language appointment. So she suggested we go in through this sort of backdoor entrance, and that is where she sends our application, she sends George's application to a panel of people in a hospital. And they basically decide who needs to see George. So as of next Monday, we have got an appointment with a paediatrician, a speech and language therapist, and a care consultant team, and it's all via video call, and they are going to just assess George and see what kind of help he needs. Something that has also been going on along all sides of this is the tantrums he has been having, and he's going through the terrible twos. That's what most kids go through, but compared to what I've read online, what I've seen online, speaking to other mums, these tantrums are just off the scale. He is having them multiple times a day and nights, to the point where he is sort of hurting himself, throwing himself around, getting so angry and worked up that he's sort of making himself ill, and it's just so much to handle, and I hate seeing him go through these emotional episodes because he gets himself so worked up, and I feel like there's nothing I can do to help him when we're in these situations, and I feel really useless because I don't know who to turn to for advice on how to look after him and what's best for him. So I reached out to his nursery, because he's currently in nursery a few days a week, and I asked them if they had any ideas of things that I could do. And they just said to raise it with his paediatrician. But my mum guilt is very high at the moment. I hate leaving him when he goes to nursery, and yeah, I just don't know how I'm feeling about it at the moment. And I know there's probably so many more of you out there that has either gone through this or is going through this, and I just thought if I can't post it anywhere, then the best place to place it is on YouTube, because you can post wherever you want on YouTube. So yeah, I thought I would share this with you guys because my mum guilt is high. But on the flip side, he is the most wonderful and gorgeous little boy, and he can be so happy and charming and lovely. It's just the lack of communication, the lack of speech, which I think really does frustrate him and gets him so worked up and angry. That's why we're in that situation we are in now. But yeah, I just feel awful for it. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. I don't know how to handle this, but I know that this is just a stage. We're going to come out of this the other side, and we're going to look back and think, why was we worried? Because I'm sure he's going to start talking, and we're going to be thinking, I wish he wasn't speaking again, because he won't be able to shut up. But yeah, I know this is just a phase. I'm trying so much to focus on that this is just a phase, it's going to blow over, we're going to get the help we need, and if we're getting this help at such a young age for George and his development, then we're going to be going in the right direction of getting the most appropriate care for him. But yeah, that is my sort of experience or little update of where George is in his development. If there's any of you out there that is currently going through the same thing, or if you have experienced it in the past, then either leave me a comment down below, or my Instagram is down below as well. If you follow me over on Instagram and send me a message, I would love to chat to you guys to find out some ways that you have sort of dealt with these situations if you've dealt with them in the past. So thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a big thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thanks. Bye.